Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto video. We again got a pump it up type of article here. Pump it up rapper Joe Budden pumps Bitcoin with pump. Yes, that was a little bit of a pun, but I think it was pretty damn funny. Make sure you press the like button, comment something down below, and be subscribed if you want to enter into our $100 crypto giveaway. Because all you have to do for that one is just those three simple things, and if we hit 1,500 likes within 24 hours, we're giving that away. And also, do you guys listen to music? I know that may sound odd, right? But I actually had a conversation earlier today with a person that never listens to music. And when I was talking about some classical music songs, he or she, the person, did not know anything. So I'm wondering, do you guys listen to music? If so, what type of? All right, I'm just trying to get to know you guys a little bit better as well. Join the Discord too, by the way, if you want to talk and just chat around. The link is down below. So pump it up, right? Joe Budden, the one-time rapper and Eminem affiliate turned podcaster, joined noted crypto booster Anthony Pompliano today to talk Bitcoin, and here is what happened. Anthony Pomp is perhaps best known for his Bitcoin evangelism on Twitter. Joe Budden's claim to fame, it's the 2003 single hit, whatever. And the pair met today to talk Bitcoin, and I think it was pretty damn interesting. And that's mostly because I think a lot of these integrations, basically, or how should I call it? These integrations with the rapper community, basically, or the influencers of younger, primarily male audiences, and basically crypto guys, is I think a very good connection. All right, I also see a lot of these guys, like for example, Keemstar hop on in right now, and even though this is not a new thing, it's just very nice for them to do so. Meek Mill, Nipsey Hussle, a lot of these other rappers have also gotten at least a part in crypto before. But yeah, the reason I think this is all very positive and why this is a different approach is because this may actually make it easier for a lot of these people who've never exposed themselves to crypto to kind of dare to take the risk. Because I'm going to call it out to say it's a risk. Yes, crypto is a risk. However, if one of your favorite rappers or favorite influencers talks about it, it's going to be a lot easier for you to get in because they are doing it too. So people who are an example for you, and that's easier if you're not already in crypto, I would say. If you're already in crypto, you don't really need a guy like this because you know the technology, right? But if you, for example, let's say you're 16 years old, you just listen to music and you live a normal life without crypto ever, and all of a sudden, a guy you listen to or you admire for, I just dropped something, doesn't matter. A guy you listen to talks about a certain investing method and he seems to really like it and he says this is the future, yada, yada, yada. You start to look into it and all of a sudden you find out, hey, you know, this really looks like something that might interest me, or it looks like something profitable or something like that. And again, there's more and more of these influencers / rappers getting into it the last couple of weeks. Megan Thee Stallion, another, we're going to call that famous, I do not know, couple million follower individual, also had a $1 million deal with Cash App to promote Bitcoin, or at least to buy cryptocurrency over Cash App. It's interesting. I think it's all pretty nice. In a different end, though, it's also not really what you want. These are retail hypers, retail pumpers, which is why the title, I think, said pump it up. Because what they're basically doing is just all these guys who really do not know. They'll get them into the space, but they'll get them into the space too quickly. So they'll buy without knowing what to do because they just heard about it quickly, right? So you see the two sides of that. It's positive in the sense that, well, they'll get them in. It's negative in the sense that, well, it will be very irrational. But let's see. Let's see here. Let's pretend that I took a portion of one of my deals in Bitcoin, mused Budden. How conservative and non-conservative should I be in that regard? And how stupid would I be to do that? Pompliano replied with some transparently unsound advice saying, you should take 100% of your deal in Bitcoin and don't sell it. And you'll be an absolute gangster in 10 years from now. And all I can say about this one is it sounds very easy on the surface to do that, but it's actually not. Because if you start to think about it, if you have, for example, let's go for a $100,000 deal. So he's a pretty big guy, pretty big influencer. Let's say he has a $100,000 deal. He pays it all, or he gets it all paid in Bitcoin. All of a sudden, the tax man comes, and depending on where he lives, he might have to pay 50% in taxes. Let's say 35% to make it easy. That's a $35,000 check. Now, if Bitcoin went down for a little while here, well, what's he going to do? Because Bitcoin went down, his payment, he still has to pay tax on the original amount he got, right? And all of a sudden his money is down. Let's say it's worth only $35,000. he has to pay that whole amount in tax now, 100% of his deal. You guys see where I'm trying to go? So I would always say, mix it up. If you're not that convinced with crypto, or you just are a tax-paying individual and you do not have much other income besides crypto, that is, split it up to be safe with things you're doing. Because even though I'm a very big crypto holder, it is always important to be safe in all this. And that's why I also cannot really give people that advice. But again, if you have no income in crypto, this is not something you need to worry about. The only part you need to worry about then is the pump it up part, because there will always be a lot of pump and dumps in the space regardless until we see proper regulations, which is pretty far away still. Then XRP Crypto Wolf just shared, CBDCs will address cross-border interoperability. They will require collaboration between central banks and private blockchains, and may be able to utilize neutral bridge currencies that provide liquidity and instant settlement for cross-border payments. And Sergio says that screams XRP. Well, it's actually a Ripple article, so logically that screams XRP. And without reading this whole article, you can already kind of guess what it's going to be about. Let's see quickly. Ripple X General Manager Monica Long anticipates this commitment to impact to play out in other ways over the coming years. Quote, in 2021, we'll see crypto make good on its original promise to remake finance as more accessible and equitable for the world's underdeserved. The point is, underserved, it was underserved. The point is, right now, we already know that CBDCs can be created on XRPL. We already know XRP is most likely one of the best bridge currencies that will ever come into existence. Maybe I shouldn't say it that way because I don't know what's going to come in the next 400 years, but let's say of our generation. And I also know for a fact that they're already having a couple of these partnerships up and running right now because of that document from HSBC, right? That bank had already said that XRPL had already, had some connections to CBDCs, and Ripple has also hinted about that so many times before. So it's pretty crazy. Let's see here. Over the course of 2021, I expect to see greater evolution of cryptocurrency, stablecoins, and CBDCs, with each firm establishing their place in finance and payments through more defined use cases. Don't you also agree with me here that I think Ripple, I shouldn't say it that way. Don't you agree with me here as well that Ripple has most likely gotten all their stuff in order and they were just prepared for this whole lawsuit and they know what's coming? Theoretically speaking, if any party can build something on XRPL, and Ripple could have been a little bit more centralized at the start, but it isn't right now, then this lawsuit could result in a fine, could result in some maybe loss of honor. But in the end, it won't result in XRP still being a security right now. Even if the claim is that it was somewhere in the past, again, it may result in a fine, may result in even prison time for Brad Garlinghouse or Chris Larsen, who knows. But that doesn't mean XRP actually has to stay a security forever, because so many other authorities have also claimed that it just is not it. All right, it just, whatever angle you watch it from, is not a security, and I really find it strange that people are still so adamant to call it that. However, that's again the agree to disagree type of situation, I feel. People think about it that way, and I just don't. Hey, okay, that's completely fine. I think a lot of these things like Flare, for example, though, even though they are Ripple involved, had they not been, it was another push towards the idea that XRP, everybody can build something on there. And even if Ripple were to really be taken out of the picture, XRP would still survive. Now, would it really have a lot of use case? Dependable. It really depends on what type of entity were to step in to start building ecosystem. But if they were given the funds, they could actually do this too. And another option for Ripple is not to burn all the funds, but actually to split it over to, for example, a couple of parties. That's one example. Or, now I'm not going to say that they're actually going to do this, but actually go for another incentive mechanism, kind of like a proof of work, where you get others to join the party as well, where you can actually kind of split the funds around. I don't know. I'm just kind of philosophizing, whatever. Here, just thinking about what could Ripple do with their huge amount of funds to make it just very obvious to anybody that it's not a security. However, all these options all have like loopholes to them and bad sides to them. Because what could they do? If they were to give it to 10 parties and, a couple of those parties were to curtail or just form a bond together, they could still overrule the network since there's only 10 parties and not like a huge list. XRP, as of this point, is already truly decentralized in my opinion. It's only about the distribution of funds in this sense. But if they were to give it away, it could also be very detrimental for the price, as people might just expect them, the new guys who get the money, to possibly sell it and whatnot. Yeah. What could they do? You guys have any suggestions? Not like they're going to listen to us, but just for our own sanity. What if we were in Ripple's shoes? What would we do differently? I do not know. I really do not. Also, guys, check out GSX. A link is down below. I personally put a couple $1,000s in. It's basically the first gold-backed coin that's coming out. It's called a growth coin. It is basically a stable coin, but also growth in the sense that they right now have gold backing, right? It's the first of its kind. And this gold backing is only going to keep increasing, but as that increases, the value of the coin should also go up. Right now, there's a 20% bonus. It's 10 cents a pop, plus 20%, plus 5% for using my link. It is down below. Go check it out. The Cryptic Poet just posted, just in, VeChain partner Mobi collaborates with BMW, Ford, and others on second installment of a vehicle identity standard for multi-stakeholder interoperability mobility ecosystems of the future. And I don't want to read all of this. Why? Because we already know what VeChain is doing right now. We've talked about this for a very long while. We've known this for a very long while. And I think we know almost every partnership that VeChain is having right now to the core. The most important part about it, though, is the fact that they're not giving up and they just keep going on. I find it so ridiculously crazy how they are never really giving up. It's just gonna continue on and continue on and continue on. And like a lot of people are saying, it really looks like VeChain is still very much undervalued if you were to look at their partnerships alone. Now, are we talking about centralization? Yeah, we might have some issues because there's still a lot of people who also think that VeChain is a centralized piece of Chinese garbage. However, that is, again, for the consumer to decide. Do you think so? I personally do not. But hey, everybody has their own opinion about it. I personally think their partnerships are speaking for themselves, and they're doing amazing right now in that regard. And then, Bitcoin almost uninvestable, says Barclays Private Bank. Gerald Moser, chief market strategist at Barclays Private Bank, doesn't think investors should diversify their portfolio with Bitcoin. And should we already just make him shut up or what? I do not know what to say about this. It's just people still call it a bubble, which is logical because it's already up so ridiculously high. He says, when it's nigh on impossible to forecast and expect a return for Bitcoin, its volatility makes the asset almost uninvestable from a portfolio perspective, he said in an interview. It's logical, right? There's a lot of risk to it, and there's not really an expectation of return because we really do not know. It's really going like this all over the place, and there's still a lot of speculation on whether or not it's a bubble. But then, let me ask you the question, is it reasonable to invest in something like Tesla? Is it reasonable to hold something like the US dollar? You know, if you start to think about it like that, like, Tesla also has a lot of risk, and the US dollar is also at a very kind of edge of the road because of all the stimulus. Is it also safe? No. Things aren't inherently safe just because they seem that way. Just because there's a big entity backing them doesn't mean it's safe. Just because Tesla has real cars doesn't mean it's actually safer than something completely online like Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin also, if you start to think about it, also has some intrinsic value in the mining equipment that's been bought for it and that's always being ran, for example, the electricity behind it. That's some intrinsic value to a certain degree. If that were to be gone, the network would be gone as well. So you'd always need it and it's always going to be there. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you press the like button and subscribe. And I will definitely see you guys again in another crypto video. Enjoy your day, everybody.